YouTube, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, as you can see from the title, as you can see from the thumbnail, we got a James Harden shooting guard build for you guys, specifically a Rockets James Harden build, because somebody in my comment section last week asked me in one of my comment sections, asking if I could specifically find and get the Rockets James Harden shades. And so that's exactly what I decided to do. Immediately after seeing that, I went into the builder. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and let's figure this out. So I went in, immediately found like the two versions of him, implemented the stats for both versions of him to see if it was possible to get only one of them, or if it was possible to get the all-time version, all that stuff. But I had to mix and match the two different versions of him, and this is kind of like a mix match of like all of the stats on both versions with some other stats as well mixed in there, that were just random stats. So this is practically the Rockets Harden shooting guard build, and I feel like it's pretty solid. For what it is. Obviously, it's not like down to a T because they specifically requested the Rockets Harden. If it wasn't, specifically trying to get Rockets Harden, then I would totally have a little bit of a difference in this build. So that's going to be the precursor for anybody that is actually listening to this. I appreciate you guys for actually listening instead of, going straight to the stats, commenting, I would have done this differently. But obviously, I would do it differently. And I probably would do some of the things that people would request on this particular version of the build. But obviously, the person asked specifically if I'm able to get the Rockets Harden shades. So that's what I did. So I got the Rockets, the Rocket Harden shades of on this one. And obviously, you guys could probably spend more time in the builder than me, actually trying to perfect it, moving every single stat. Because I'm just not going to do that for right now because I have a lot of stuff to do, plus I work and everything. So I'm just trying to make sure that everything gets done, as well as, putting out content for you guys. So anyway, let's go ahead. Let's show off the build because I'm going to explain the reason why some of the stats are what they are. So let's go ahead and do this. So for finishing, though, we do have a 74 close shot, 89 driving layup, 84 driving dunk. We don't really have too much of a standing dunk with only 35 and a 66 post control. Now, the one key thing is, here is that you could easily bring the free throw back by 1 point and put up your standing dunk and post control up by 1. And that's if you really want that post up poet, which I don't really think is 100% necessary, or I should say by 2 points on the free throw. But you bring back the free throw by 2 points, go to an 83 instead of an 85, gives you that standing dunk by 1, and then that post control by 1 that gives you that post up poet. I don't really think it's 100% necessary, but it's there. The option is really there if you really wanted it. But obviously with how insane the the cap breakers and everything are, and the cap breakers actually look really solid for this build, and I'll show you guys after I get through this and everything. So at the end, I'll show you guys the caps. But the cap breakers actually look pretty solid here. And the reason why we have some of the stats how they are is because, well, really, close shots upgraded because of our driving layup. And also, we have Paint Prodigy on bronze because of it. So we're pretty much thankful for that. I would go up to bronze Paint Prodigy, really, just in general, because it just helps out so much. Just in general, man. Paint Prodigy helps so much down low. Even like as a guard, you don't even understand how insane Paint Prodigy truly is. It's really, really good. But driving layup being an 89 is pretty solid. We get, some okay caps. We don't really get the best cap breakers for it because it's all +1. So it's not like we're able to get that layup mix master or anything like that. So if you really wanted to, you could try to drop it down by 1 point and then use those points elsewhere. But the only reason why I say to drop it by 1 point is because float game on gold is an 88. So if you wanted to, you can drop down the driving layup by like 1 point, keep that like an 88 for that float game on gold, and then see what else that you can do. Probably with your agility, maybe perhaps you can do some more in agility, or this could be the situation with your post control. You can bring that up a little bit more. It's just totally up to you guys, but I'm just giving you guys like a little template and showing you guys practically the guaranteed way of getting the shades of, because obviously I got the shades of here. So I'm not going to experiment too much with the stats because I already know that this right here automatically gives you that James Harden shades of. But yeah, but we do have some pretty good stuff here. I mean, you practically get all of his animations by doing this as well. When it comes to like all of his animations, you get his animations. So that's some pretty good stuff there, if I'm not mistaken anyway. But the 84 driving dunk, I mean, obviously he can dunk and everything. He's not going to be an insane dunker, but some versions of him actually have like really good driving dunk ability. Some of them only have like an 84. So I gave him only an 84 driving dunk. So there's that. It's pretty good though, because if you really wanted to, you can use one cap breaker in order to get to the 87 driving dunk to get that posterizer badge on silver. If you actually use two cap breakers, you get up to a 90 driving dunk, which would be kind of insane. And that would ultimately be really strong if you were able to get that 90 driving dunk. That'd be kind of insane. Plus, with all the vertical that you already have, you can get some really decent contact dunks out of the gate. So that'd be pretty good there. And post control on a 66, obviously we have the hook specialist on bronze. We have post safety on bronze, post powerhouse on bronze as well. But obviously, like I said, you would need, just one attribute to get that post up poet. But he's not much of like a post control kind of person. I really only did the post control for the sake of getting his shades of and guaranteeing that I can get his shades of. Obviously, if you guys want to experiment with having like lower post control or no post control or anything like that, and then, try to increase some of the other stats, by all means, go ahead and do so, especially if you like drop the driving layup down by 1 as well, and then you bring the post control down. I'm pretty sure there are some really good ways where you could mess around with some of these stats, still get the shades of, and actually make it significantly better. But like I said, this way I know guarantees the shades of, though, for sure. For shooting, though, we do have an 87 mid-range and 85 three-point rating with an 85 free throw. I feel like these are pretty good stats. Obviously, the 87 mid-range, we get that shifty shooter on silver, which is pretty good, as you can see there. Obviously, we do get that dead eye on silver, that shot on silver, all that stuff. But typically, you will have like a 6'11 wingspan, because you guys know me. I like to make my builds that are, pretty accurate when it comes to like the body settings and everything. So obviously, we have this 6'5 height, 220 on the weight, and a 6'10 wingspan. Typically, he's listed at a 6'11 wingspan, but I went down by 1 point just for the fact that you can get to the 89 three-point rating and the 92 mid-range as well. So the one thing that is, crazy about this in general is that you would have to use all 4 cap breakers on your three-point rating in order to get it, because it's going to be a +1. And then for your mid-range, it's going to be +1 as well, where you would have to use all 5 cap breakers in order to get to the 92. So keep that in mind, that your three-pointer and your mid-range are going to be +1s, but if you have the cap breakers for it and you really want to do it that way, then by all means you can do it that way. So that's pretty good stuff there. You get that limitless range on bronze. You don't get mini marksman. You have that post-fade phenom, so you have that on bronze at least. But yeah, pretty much really good shooting here. I mean, you're mostly going to be focused on not really being like super quick or anything like that. You're just going to be able to use your ball handling to your ability to get the open looks and get to the paint, get to those 3-point shot opportunities, all that stuff. So that's pretty much what we're going for here. Because the playmaking, we have an 82 pass accuracy, although on one of his versions, he actually has like a super low pass accuracy. But I feel like as somebody with like James Harden's play style and everything like that, and his skill set, he can pass the ball. I mean, he's proven that he can pass the ball, especially when CP3 was out. So when he had CP3 on the Rockets, it's not like he was that much of a passer. He was more of a scorer. He was a score first kind of player. And then obviously when CP3 was injured, I believe he was like injured. I forgot if he was injured or he got traded or whatever. But when he did not have CP3 on that Rockets team, then he had to become the point guard, and he was actually, getting some really good assist amounts and, doing all that stuff. So he's putting up really great numbers. So I gave him an 82 just because of that particular reason, and because it was like, I couldn't just match one version or the other version when it came to his pass accuracy, because it was like super low or super high. on his pass accuracy. So I went with, kind of like the middle ground of an 82. Gold dimer, pretty good stuff there. You have a 90 ball handling as well. Um, give you that strong handle on gold, handles for days on gold, ankle assassin on silver, unblockable on silver. Pretty good stuff here. You can use a couple caps, obviously, for unblockable. Really good stuff there. And then you have lightning launch on gold because we have an 86 speed with ball, so that's pretty good stuff here. But for pass accuracy, man, I gotta say these pass accuracy, like the caps on pass accuracy will be kind of good because obviously you only need 2 to get versatile visionary. So obviously you would need 2 attributes to get versatile visionary on gold. And if you get to like the 85 rating, you get that bailout on bronze, so that could help out a lot. I mean, there's just like quite a few things here that if you're able to reach it, then it's really, really good. So take into consideration what you're going to be using your specialization on for this build as well, because there are like multiple different ways that you can use the specialization on this. You can use the shooting one just to make sure that you can pretty much almost guarantee that you're going to get all the caps needed for your mid-range to get to a 92, or your 3-pointer to an 89 or something like that. Or you can do it on your finishing, making sure that you have like a better dunk and driving layup and stuff like that. You can do it on playmaking to make sure that you can get a really good amount of cap breakers on your ball handling and your pass accuracy. But most importantly, you can also use it on defense, and those defensive caps are looking spicy. Let me tell you, we have some low ratings here. We have a 60 interior, a 65 perimeter, and a 65 steal, and a 50 block. But let me tell you, these cap breakers on defense are insane, and you guys will be able to see that, man. So if you really want to go on defense, which I don't really, I don't even think it's a good idea to go defense straight off of, this being your first build or anything like that. So if you have like another build or a big man that you can focus defense on, then by all means, I recommend doing so, because getting to those extra cap breakers and everything for defense is going to be so huge because of how insane your defense will end up being for you having only a 65 perimeter to start, only a 60 interior to start, only a 65 steal, or a 50 block. Now, see, that's the key thing here. You can have like a lot of cap breakers in this game, but utilizing specialization is going to give you even more of a boost with your +1s and your +2s that you get. So obviously with your max +1 and your max +2 is going to be insane. So then it's like you use all your cap breakers, you end up with like silver challenger for an example here. Then you can immediately put that up to Hall of Fame with a max +2, or on ball menace. You can immediately get that up to gold if you have it on bronze. There's just a lot of potential here for cap breakers, and I'll show you guys that cap breaker potential. 65 steal gives us interceptor on bronze, just to even it out with the perimeter defense. Caps still look pretty good on it. Another thing that you can put your caps on for a steal, and then using the max +2 on like interceptor to be able to get that on like Hall of Fame or something like that. That would be kind of insane. Or, glove even. Like, there's a lot of potential here for that block. Let me tell you, you don't have high flying denier, you can get high flying denier. And then, imagine using a max +1, get that on silver, you're going to be blocking people on those chase downs pretty easily. And then we have a 40 offensive rebound, 60 defensive rebound, nothing too crazy, but we have box out beast, we got rebound chase, so just to help out a little bit and get some rebounds. And then our physicals, we do have an 86 speed, only a 75 agility. We're not super quick without the ball or anything like that when it comes to like cuts or anything. It's James Harden. He's more shifty than he is, like super quick. So that's just James Harden in a nutshell. But we do have that slip off ball on silver. We obviously don't have on ball menace or pick dodger from our agility because we do not have the perimeter defense. So ultimately we could, but we don't have the perimeter defense for it. And then we have a 73 strength, which is good enough for us to be able to get that gold strong handle badge. We have brick wall as well on bronze. We have post powerhouse, a beautiful enforcer on bronze, physical finisher on silver. Pretty good stuff here. And then we also have a 77 vertical, which gives us gold pogo stick. We also have that bronze posterizer, like I mentioned. Use some caps, get that posterizer on silver. And then ultimately, you use like a lot of caps or like a few caps on your high flying denier, or your block to get high flying denier. That would be really, really strong. That would be overpowered. That would be fucking dumb, but you can't do it. We can do it. But yeah, ultimately a lot of cool caps here for strength and vertical as well as your agility. So some really good physical caps here. So that's pretty good. Well, let's go ahead. Let's show off here the shades of for this ankle taker build. Ankle taker is, you know, such an easy build to make, honestly. So I'm not even going to worry about the archetype too much, but we did get shades of not only Kobe Bean, we got the Kobe Bean Bryant in the shades of the 0203, and then we got James Harden from the 16-17 Rockets. So we did indeed get the Rockets James Harden shades of for this one. We got Isaiah Ryder here as well, which is interesting to me, considering he's like known as like a dunker, really. Well, we got the ankle taker, go-to badges, handles for days, float game, lightning launch. I don't know too much about float game, but obviously it's there, whatever. But our top attributes, ball handling as an A minus on driving layup, A minus on the mid-range, and our strengths, handles with surgical precision. We got that precision with the handles. We got relentless downhill pressure. We're running down that court. You let us into the open space, we're going to be able to ISO you up, get to our spot, bang out. Mid-range game always shows up. Obviously, we have an 87 mid-range, so if we have to, we're going to be able to pull up in that midi and make sure that it's a bucket every time. And then deadly in open floor situations, like I just mentioned. Get the open floor, allow us to ISO you to sleep, get to our spots, bang. It's an easy bucket. But the weaknesses, almost no steal impact at all. That changes with caps. And then defense folds before the first crossover lands. That also, as I just said, that gets erased with caps. So yeah, man, I'm gonna show you guys the cap breakers real quick. We're gonna bring it out. I'm gonna show you guys the cap breakers, and then we will be on our merry way. All right, so here is the cap breakers that we have for this particular build here. As you can see, like I mentioned, +1s on the driving layup, but we got +3 and +3 for the driving dunk. Like I said, you get one cap breaker, you get that 87. You get another cap breaker, you get to a 90 driving dunk. So just 2 cap breakers get you to a 90 driving dunk here, which is insane. You know, some pretty decent cap breakers here for standing dunk as well if you really wanted it. Some pretty good cap breakers for post control if you wanted it. And then, as I mentioned, for the mid-range three-pointer, it's only +1, so that's going to be a little harder to get, but you have some pretty decent caps for free throw as well. You get a +2 for your pass accuracy, and then, you know, some +1s there. So that's the only reason why I said that you can get some pass accuracy here, especially mentioning the bailout on bronze, because you just need 2 cap breakers. The first cap breaker for the +2, and then the other cap breaker for the +1. So it's not like you're using 3 caps here. So it's 1 less cap than per usual. It's still more caps than what you would probably want to get from an 82 to an 85, but as like at least you're not, you know, using 3 caps for it. So that's pretty good stuff here. You know, the ball handling is only +1, but obviously you just need like what, 3 to get the ankle assassin on gold, and then you can get that on legend with the +2. So there you have that. The defense, as I mentioned, defense is gonna be insane. Look at that, +4. +4, it's already +8. You get a 73 right here with these 2. And then, like, you have a 73 with these 2. And you have that, which is 76. And then a 79. And then an 82. You get to silver challenger, as I mentioned. Like, you literally get, if you use all 5 caps on perimeter defense, you get to an 82 to get that insane, like silver challenger to Hall of Fame challenger, as I mentioned. That would be pretty good. And then right here, you get to a 71 steal with 1 cap. And the next one is a 76 steal. And then you get to an 81. And then obviously you get to an 85. So if you use 4 cap breakers, you get to an 85, which gives you that. I believe that one is silver glove, so that would be kind of insane. And then, like I mentioned here, for block, +10, gives you to a 60. Use your second cap breaker with the +8. That's your 68 right there for high flying denier on bronze. It's so insane. Then for, you know, offensive rebound, obviously you have +11, 10, 8, 6, and 2. Pretty insane. Then for defensive rebound, you have +8, +6, +5, +1. Yikes. that is really, really strong here. So if you guys really want to think about that, or if you guys don't really want to think about it, I mean, that's plus 20. You get to an 80 right here, because obviously with the 9 and 11, that's 20. So that's literally an 80 defensive rebound that you can get from just 4 caps. Insane. And then, as I mentioned, you have some pretty decent agility caps here with the +3, +2, 2, 2, 2. And then your strength has a +5, +4, +2. That's really good as well. Obviously that's what, 11, so you get to like an 84. Yeah, you get to an 84 strength here, which is pretty good. And then you have your +3, +3, +3, +2, +2, so you can easily get to like an 80 vertical here with just the 1 cap. So pretty good stuff. There's a lot of good cap breakers here, man. So if you guys really like this build, let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys have like any other like ways to move around the stats other than like the ones that I mentioned, and be able to bring up some other stats really easily and effectively, let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, I just know that this was the guaranteed way of getting the shades of. I didn't want to mess around with the build too much after that, because, you know, I have the shades of, I didn't want to lose it and then, you know, spend like another hour and a half, 2 hours trying to find the shades of again. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for me, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Later, everybody.